Hey there Vault Dwellers, Naked Vault Dweller here, and in this video we're going to highlight the player camp for Kartr Kana and Vastira, two real-life married individuals who enjoy playing Fallout 76. If you like tips and tricks, how-tos, and walkthroughs with the occasional poorly executed dad joke, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button now. And while you're there, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And lastly, if you would, go ahead and hit that notification icon so that way you'll know the next time I release a video. Okay, so quick story. One day I'm doing my daily ops and all of a sudden this guy shows up. He has all these guns blazing everywhere and all of a sudden he says, "Hey, you're the Naked Vault Dweller." And I said, "Hey, you're Kartr Kana." So then after 14 minutes, we never spoke to each other for a long time because that's how long it took for us to finish the daily ops. Well then, an hour later, we got back together and we hung out and we've been friends ever since. Kartr Kana also has his own podcast where he and a bunch of his pals get together and talk about everything BattleMech. The name of that podcast is The Origins of BattleMech, and I'll leave a link in the description to his podcast. So make sure you check that out. Okay, so getting back to the camp video, Kartr's camp is perched on the hillside right next to Wade's airport. When I asked Kartr why he wanted to place his camp at this location, he said he wanted to create the illusion that his camp was actually part of Wade Airport, and that the fuselage and all the other parts that you see lying around the camp was used to make the camp and build it into what it is today. And believe me when I say it was tough for Kartr to stay his hand to not change anything in the camp until after I was done making this video was a task on inside of itself, but I appreciate that. Now I've been all throughout Kartr's camp and there's a lot of cool things about it and there's a lot of good takeaways, but my absolute favorite thing is right here at this tree. The skeletonized remains of a pilot and what looks to be ultrasight underneath his leg really leans to the ambiance of the area. Hoisted way above Wade Airport, you'll find the trophy room as well as the vendors and the ally that Kartr stole from me. Yep, being out here definitely reminds me of a post-apocalyptic nightmare. Hey, let's go inside, shall we? Inside here, you'll find time well spent between Vastira and Kartr Kana. And just a little backstory, the two of these guys met playing the game Lord of the Rings Online, which is at one time one of my favorite games. Anyway, it was at this point that Bethy muscled her way in here and wanted to participate in showing off some of Kartr's camp. Speaking of Bethy, she was supposed to narrate this video, but at the last moment she backed out. When I asked her why she didn't feel up to doing it, she said she had stage fright. And I said, "Bethy, just use your personality." And that's when Bethy confessed that she doesn't have a personality. Now she's standing behind me telling me what to do in the video. Moving on over to the center section of the shelter, you're going to find a garden that has all its items in it perfectly placed. And look, somebody's planted a Bethy in here. For any would-be visitors, make sure that you look around and find all the flamingos in this botanical garden, because according to Kartr, there's like 80. But Vastira might have a more tangible number for you to digest. Working our way on over to the medical bay, you'll see a little home gym, which reminds me of my home gym, except mine has dust on it, and I'd get rid of it, but I wouldn't have any place to hang my clothes. Anyway, when you work your way on into the medical bay, you'll find that it's very clean and well organized. And if you're worried about privacy in this area, the blinds and the curtains really add to the ambiance of the room. I just know the next time that I get circumcised, this is the place I want to come. Up these stairs here, we'll find a cozy little study area with two couches that makes you want to sit down and relax, read a book, and perhaps hang out with the rest of the family. I have to admit that some of the lighting in the interior shelters isn't all that great, but Vastira and Kartr did a really good job of matching up the lighting in this room. Again, I really like this one a lot. Going out on top of the aquarium area, you'll find that Kartr's hung two basketball goals above each of the main doors to this room. Naked Vault Dweller trick question. How can you tell if someone knows how to play basketball or not? If they call the basketball goal a hoop instead of a goal. And I know that might be subjective, but from where I'm from, it's usually true. Moving on into the bedroom areas, you can definitely tell that a lot of thought was put in behind these rooms. The two smaller bedrooms are small and quaint with adequate bedding for enough kids to fill an orphanage. And while these rooms are very small comparatively to the master bedroom, they actually have enough room to move around without seeming very cluttered at all. Moving on over to the master bedroom, you'll see that Kartr's carved his name into the wall. I wonder if he had to get permission to do this. A little funny story prior to making this video, Kartr was in here working in the master bedroom with Vastira and he ended up deleting, everything by accident. And here I was recording the front part of the shelter as he was frantically trying to put everything back in place on the back end of the shelter. Well done doing this. Closing out the last portion of the living quarters is this master bathroom, and when I went in here I did not get the nice clean toilet because Bethy was sitting on it and she's too modest for me to show that in a video, so she asked for me not to. And behind this Nuka-Cola shower curtain you would find a shower head that Kartr Kana had put together through power conduits. It looked really cool, but I just lost the footage for it. Next we'll stroll on over to the game room where we'll find a pool table and a number of instruments lying around for those that are musically inclined to play. And here's another trick question. If you ask somebody if they know how to play pool and they say they're okay, then you know they know how to play pool. And if that person is named after a city, definitely don't bet with them. And the same cannot be said if you know how to play an instrument. You either know how to or you don't. Bethy, on the other hand, knows how to play the piano. She's actually playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star right now. Moving on into the kitchen and dining area, this is where everybody comes when they want to just hang out, eat some chips, drink some beer, and just be with everybody. And I imagine this room being a host of mini celebrations, but being that we're in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, we probably can't invite our neighbors over for a couple, 10 or 15 years. Well done on this dining room area here, guys. It's quaint to be in and easy to navigate. Finally, we have the control room here. This is the heart of the shelter where all the power comes from. It's also where everything is controlled. I imagine that Kartr and Vastira's house is somewhat set up this way as well, where Vastira is sitting on the outside and all Kartr has to say is, "Hey honey, give me a beer." Or it could be the other way around where Vastira says, "Hey honey, braid my hair." Anyway, I'd like to thank Kartr Kana and Vastira for allowing me to trash their living abode, and I'd like to thank you guys for sticking around and watching the whole video, because this one's been truly a fun one to make. And speaking of make, how come only one company can make the game Monopoly? Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Woo, nothing like a cool swim on a hot summer's day. Oh hey, we must be on the end screen. Just want to give a special thanks to these fine folks to help put this video together. Now I wonder if there's a sandbar over here.